Another day, another
We're
dollar.
good to go.
Yeah, we're good to go. Sorry about
Oh,
that.
okay. No problems whatsoever. I just I want to start talking, but I want to show you something.
Okay.
Uh, Days run away like wild horses over the hills. Can you see this when I'm
Yeah.
burning in water, drowning in flame?
Yeah.
South of no north, Bukowski's women.
Okay.
There's Hollywood.
Good old Hollywood.
Ham on Rye. I got two different copies of Ham on Rye.
Nice. Okay, so this was a good choice.
Yeah. Bukowski is.
Yeah, what else you got?
I got Hot Water Music. Love is a Dog from Hell. Here's some more of his poems.
Okay.
But look what I decided to add to it.
South of no north. What does that mean? What's that? Tell the
No,
world.
no, not that one.
Oh.
Can you see this John Fonte?
Oh no, I can't see it. It's a little off the screen.
Now, up,
Down and to the right? Maybe you're
my
Yeah,
right.
there you go. There you go. Down a little bit more. Down a little bit more. John and then Okay, tell me about it. What is it? I can't quite tell.
Well, we'll get to him in a little bit, but the quote
Okay.
here is Fonte was my God. Can you see that? The little quote?
Kind of sort I don't have you like full screen cuz I have I have other stuff
Oh, I
open.
see. Okay. Well,
Um
anyway, we'll be talking about John Fonte today as well. And
okay. Yeah, I haven't heard of it.
yeah, it's you're going to be it's a great story about John Fonte and Charles Bukowski.
Okay. I wanted to say I actually haven't, I've seen I think more Bukowski movies than I've read his books. Have you
Oh,
seen
is
any
that
of his
right?
movies? Yeah, there's two. There's Factotum and then there's Barfly.
Yeah. Now, but did you haven't seen the 11-hour documentary that Barber did, the guy who
No.
did Barfly? That was
No.
amazing. I am so
11 hours?
I think it's 11 hours.
That's like book
Uh,
length.
yeah, it was incredible, and I had it on video,
Uh-huh.
and I got rid of videos, and I feel stupid now for getting rid of that one.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
but yeah, it's amazing. And actually, what's the director's name
For which one?
for
The older one, there's
Barfly?
Barfly. That
Is
is
Schroeder Barber or something?
Barbet Schroeder. Yeah.
Barbara Schroeder.
Barbet.
Rachel worked in the same office in Hollywood
Oh,
as his,
Small World.
yeah. So they shared the coffee room.
Okay. It looks like he actually directed both of them. He directed Factotum too, which is more
and and
recent.
and he's the one who did the 11-hour documentary on him too.
Okay. So
And
must have been
just
buddies.
and we'll have Rachel tell the story when they will have her on to tell
Please.
the story about that. Uh, so I thought Ham on Rye.
Yeah.
It's not his first book.
Mhm.
Post Office is his first one, then Factotum. But Ham on Rye is kind of like the first in the history of his youth.
Yeah, it's like
And
a semi or it's a semi true. A semi true autobiography.
yeah, like everything else. And actually, when we get to John Fonte, we'll be able to explain what that even means. The the sort of autobiography.
Yeah.
He copied an aspect of Fonte's. But let's do the book first. What did you think?
Okay. For Ham on
This was your first book of Bukowski's?
I think it's my second. But the other one I can't even I couldn't even tell you. I think you know what it is?
Women?
I started reading Post Office
Okay.
and I made it like halfway through and I didn't finish it.
Okay.
So I gotta
Well,
revisit it.
there is a quality that I will say to Bukowski that uh, once you see what he's doing, you kind of know that he's going to do it again and again.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there are in Ham on Rye, it seems like he's repeating himself consistently, but then every now and then he'll throw in a new little idea at you
Hmm.
that adds to the philosophy of this maniac. what
Yeah, he's a
so
nut.
yeah, do you want me to just give the first just how the book unfolds?
Well, I was thinking, well, let me just first and
Yeah,
foremost,
yeah,
everybody back at
yeah.
home, just so you know, in case it's not stunningly obvious, which I imagine it should be. Today's today's subject is Ham on Rye by Charles Bukowski, a man of many drinks and even more words. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's yeah, I guess it's really up to you. What do you want to recap?
Well, I'll just briefly do an overview. So this is
Okay.
Bukowski's childhood book, where he talks about the severe beatings he gets from his dad,
Mm-hmm.
the way he's German born, and so he has a German accent in school, and the
Right.
kids don't like that. This is even before uh, uh, Germany in 33. So by the time I think he's born in 20, I'm not sure, but
That sounds
he's a
about right.
kid. He's a kid when Hitler is coming to power, and people are already hating Hitler even before the war.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another strike that will be against him as a kid growing up. And the third strike was that he had extremely bad acne, like boils, where they had to you know, uh, uh, burn off the boils on his back, and
Yeah, the
so he
electric
was,
needle.
yeah, right. So he would be considered ugly, and he from an early age kind of understood something about this world in that he wasn't going to take any shit from anyone,
Yeah.
even his dad punishing him uh, uh, religiously, on Saturdays after he mowed the lawn and it wasn't mowed the right way. So his father's a prick.
Yeah.
Uh,
I feel like we kind of even see. I mean, because the whole thing I think is we're seeing the formation of Bukowski as a person, and it's interesting because like one of the first things we see of his father doing something very similar with the oranges, where he goes to steal a bunch of oranges, and he fights with the farmer who comes with a gun to stop him stealing his oranges.
right.
And that's very much I feel like the same energy that Bukowski or Chinaski, I should say, carries through in his life as well. Kind of devil may care, go fuck
One hundred
yourself.
percent you're right on target. You know, I'll just say that when Rachel and I were in Rome,
Yeah.
we were by the U.S. embassy,
Mm-hmm.
and the orange groves were dropping oranges,
Wow.
and they were dropping on our side of the fence.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I went to go get the oranges. Rachel said they're going to shoot you.
No, no, no.
So
Oh man.
so even then that reminded me of Bukowski and the
Yeah.
oranges.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm gonna get these oranges.
He's like, you have so
They're on
many.
our side. They're on our side of the fence.
Yeah,
If they don't
man.
want oranges for the public, then why don't they come pick them up themselves and bring them over to their side of the fence?
That's what I'm saying. In a perfect world, I think that would be the case. But yeah, yeah, that's a real shame.
so but there are many things like the oranges that
Mm-hmm.
the father is very strict in one way, and is an example of what he wants capitalism to be. Like he wants his house, he wants to move up in life, and he just has disappointment after disappointment. And I think that is something that Charles Bukowski was figuring out he doesn't want for himself. He doesn't want
Right.
to live this way,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he naturally didn't feel this way. So he goes to school. He's fighting with teachers, with principals, with kids. He's relentless in advocating for himself, even if he doesn't really know what that means. He
Yeah.
just knows how he feels about things, and so this is his adolescent. He's able. He One way that I thought, when we were talking about it uh, we before discussion
Yeah.
before we started this discussion, was that I thought that it was like Stephen King's, what's the name of that movie again?
Oh, I'm man. I'm sorry.
Uh,
I can't
Shit,
remember.
was
I'm
the kid
blanking on it.
movie.
I'm blanking
The,
on it. No, it's not it. Stand by me. Stand by me.
Stand by Me.
That's what it was.
Stand
I
by
had to
Me.
replay the conversation in my
That's right.
head.
Which exactly went the same way.
Yeah, yeah,
We
yeah.
repeated
Yep.
the conversation the same way.
Just fast
So
forward it.
Stand by Me
Stand by me. Yeah.
has, the brutality of kids are in that, the way they're, the gun stuff, the way they talk to each other. Well, Bukowski is even much wilder and
Yeah.
darker. There's constant fighting, there's constant showmanship, and this is a book from when he's a little kid all the way till when he graduates high school. It
Yeah.
ends with him graduating high school on the day of Pearl Harbor,
Right.
and he's not going into the military.
No.
He's not interested in it. Other people are going, and they're asking him, why aren't you joining? And he's got nothing to say about that. So his stance, and there are moments, I guess it goes beyond high school, because he's already in college taking classes. His parents don't, he can't
He's
get a
already been kicked
job.
out.
Yeah, he gets a job in a department store, and a couple of the kids from high school are there, and they're like all in on, let's go to the roof and fight.
Yeah.
So he's constantly fighting. So the stuff that happens in the movies of Bukowski and Barfly, the constant fighting, that is a pattern of his life.
Right.
And he talks about how he has small hands and he doesn't care, and he is a tough guy, whether it's his own character or whether it's his alter ego.
Yeah. It almost made me feel like a Western, It's like you ask
Yeah,
somebody for a draw and then you go outside to, to high noon. But it was very much like that where, you get into a disagreement with somebody and then you're like, meet me outside. And
yeah.
I have to ask, I feel like that wasn't how I experienced my childhood. Is it similar at all to how your childhood was?
I
With
I
like
had
just being
I
challenged to
remember
fights?
I remember a fight
Yeah.
where a kid was biting my hand,
Wow.
and so it was like this,
Yeah.
and I just kept pushing. I didn't care how much it hurt. I just kept pushing my hand further and further into his mouth to try to dislocate his jaw.
Okay.
So that's who I am.
That's pretty serious. That's a pretty serious fight.
And yeah, and the kid wept when I finally took my hand out, and I didn't care about the bite marks that were to be left on there for a couple of weeks. I
Yeah.
wondered if it would be a tattoo,
Mhm.
like it would just. And so there's the book is about suffering and pain,
Mm-hmm.
and how some people, including myself, are not necessarily frightened about suffering and pain when it comes to fights. I
Sure.
remember I remember getting hit in the face and just standing and laughing at the guy who hit me, which freaked that kid out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who wants to fight with someone who is willing to get punched and looks happy about it,
Sure.
not fearful about it. So, and that's not to say that I haven't been in situations I was in a lot of fights because of the neighborhood of being in the South Bronx
Yeah.
in the 60s, and also the fact that I was being sent to a yeshiva in the South Bronx,
Mm-hmm.
where the rabbis were, first throwing erasers at my head and hitting me with their sticks, and then heading outside into the street where kids didn't know, I was from another planet
Yeah.
as far as they were concerned. There were that neighborhood had no other kid going to yeshiva with a yarmulke on his head, and just it was easy. It was an easy mark.
Mm-hmm.
And kids are, when they're kids, I'm sure most of those people who grew up, they don't even remember being like this. And this is what I love about this book, that it reminded me how many more people, when they're kids, especially boys, are so ruthless and mean spirited and just weird. We're just weird little creatures that don't, when we're amongst ourselves, at least, we had a different rule than when we were around our parents or adults. Did you
Sure.
find that?
Yeah. I
Did you
mean,
find that?
yeah, absolutely. There's more, I don't know. Yeah, I guess maybe a more raw, um, less, because the whole thing about parents is like they force you to act a certain way. And so the joy of friendship is you get to act differently, or you get to be around people who act differently.
You get to
I
fart in their face.
yeah, I think it's a really interesting connection because you're talking about two different instances of having to deal with like oppression and fighting, things of that nature, whereas this it was the same with him, where he was getting beaten by his father, and you see the transformation of his fights with his father, or his father beating him, I should say, and him taking beatings from his father, uh, simultaneously, along with like his transformation in his fighting. I loved how he described the fights. He really takes them apart while they're happening, and is very cerebral about it, and understands or feels the change in pain, feels the change in his reaction to pain. And I thought it was a really, really cool way of describing that, you know, just what you were talking about.
Yeah, he does that. I mean, and that's something that he tries to do about every situation in his life.
Yeah.
Like, it seems like he is not, he is trying to best express an emotion without seeming to care about the emotion, but then describes the emotion as well
Yeah.
without seeming to care about what the result was.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and sometimes he understands he's a mean bastard. He understands that he's wrong about things, and
Yeah.
he's willing to say that.
I wanted to ask you, how reliable of a narrator do you think he is? Like, how much of what he's taking in his interpretation of what's happening, do you think is actually accurate?
Okay, I think we need to go into John Fonte now,
Okay.
and then you'll have your answer.
Okay.
You actually have your answer.
Okay, let's do it.
The story that I'm about to tell you
Okay.
goes all the way back to, I think it's our first episode, maybe the second one,
Mm-hmm.
where we're talking about the differences between coincidence and synchronicity.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Bukowski would go to the main library.
Mm-hmm.
Remember how he talks about, as a young teenager, he discovers Dostoevsky, he discovers great writers.
Yeah, I actually have a list of the books that he recommends
Okay.
if you want them.
Yes, I do, because there's one book that he left out in Ham
Okay.
on Rye.
Really? Okay. Well, I in my looks, I just have the authors, I think, but I have Upton Sinclair, Sinclair Lewis, D.H. Lawrence, Hilda Doolittle, aka H.D., Aldous Huxley, Dos Passos, Sherwood Anderson, Hemingway, Turgenev, Gorky. He does not suggest or recommend Thomas Wolfe, but somebody else in the book does.
Right.
And then James Thurber.
Yes, which is kind of fun to think that he liked James Thurber.
Yeah,
And he did love Hemingway. He loved the,
of course.
and he was looking for, uh, you know, when I graduated college, and I said, what is my Hemingway theme? Like, Hemingway had his bullfighting, and Bukowski, I think, had his drinking and fighting.
Sure.
And I came up with, the trash stratum of
Yeah.
collectibles, and going into people's homes and cleaning out their homes and seeing what's underneath their bed. That was my way of learning how to understand people.
Yeah.
That's my thing that I've been writing about for decades.
Hmm.
And hence all the Bukowski books, and all the cool things that I thought, I held on to, and the rest of the stuff I sold.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so in that list, what he didn't mention in Ham on Rye, which I was surprised at, was John Fonte, who wrote a book called Against the Dust.
Okay.
Fante. Against the Dust? Wait, what's it called? I don't want to have to turn around and look at the book.
Let's see.
I have a bunch of Fonte books here besides the one that I showed.
What's his story? Who is he?
Okay, it's a great story. So he's writing, and his stories are brutal, and he has an alter ego character, Bondini,
Okay.
and he and then and Bukowski is just is it called Against the Dust? What's it called?
Ask the Dust.
Ask the Dust. Ask the Dust. That's right. And he comes across a book which is all dusty
Yeah.
because no one's looked at it, and it's this book, and
Okay.
he reads it, and he's like, "Oh my fucking god, this is who I want to be.
Okay.
I want to be this writer, and I want to have an alter ego." And that's that his whole career is based on John Fonte way of writing. His
Wow.
entire career is based on this guy. And here's the thing: coincidence, synchronicity. John Fonte wrote that book in that library.
Really?
Bukowski found that book in that library.
Hmm. Wow.
The book was not known. It was unknown. When Bukowski started talking about this book, He's My God,
Mm-hmm.
people started reading about it, and they said, "We want to publish it, but we want you to write the introduction to it." So Charles Bukowski wrote the introduction to John Fonte's book that he first found in the same library that Fonte wrote the book in, and the book was dusty.
And boom goes the dynamite. That's crazy. That's a crazy synchronicity, I should say.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Now, I mean,
interesting.
and that's where I ask you. Okay, so let's say something like that, or maybe that has already happened to you in your life, and are there coincidences that now, if you reflect that back, it could be synchronicity, or it seems to be synchronicity, or maybe the difference between a coincidence and synchronicity is how the person who it happens to perceives it.
Right.
Like, the difference between saying what a coincidence this is and then holding on to it, or saying, wow, this is so synchronistic,
Mm-hmm.
and then it becomes a powerful thing in which then changes life
Mm-hmm.
changes life by recognizing that it had an importance to him. It's like, this guy is my god, this is who I want to be. Now maybe there were other books that he would have found also that he said that
Yeah.
to. That's why it
Well,
was so surprising that he didn't mention it in Ham on Rye.
yeah, that is interesting because yeah, he says specifically mentions that he's read every book, and that he even goes back to the library later in his life to just sit and look at girls
Yeah, yeah,
because he's already read everything that's there. So
yeah.
yeah, like in terms of in terms of synchronicity, I guess for me, I just kind of think of it as yeah, like exactly what you're saying, like in part like a coincidence plus imparted meaning to whoever is witnessing it. There's the the extra that extra meaning or whatever. So yeah, and it's funny, like when you say that, the synchronistic thing for me is synchronicity itself, because like I started talking to you about it, and suddenly other people are talking to me about it seemingly unprompted, and so it's just yeah, it's one of those things where it's like the it proves the rule. I don't know, but
It's
yeah, it's
good
just
to
one of those
just be,
things.
for me, it's good to just be open to letting things in, and
Yeah,
not being concerned about the science behind things, and the ideas, to care, to worry about it, to have to prove that it's not something more than more than just a coincidence. It's like that Jung story about
right.
the lady with the bug. Do you remember that?
No, if you wanna, what?
Yeah, no. So synchronicity comes out of Jung's ideas, and he was in therapy. He was in a session with a woman. Let me get this straight. And
Okay.
she's talking about a dream about a beetle. And the windows open, and a beetle comes into the room. And I don't know if he captures it and then lets it go or something, but it changed the whole evolution of their therapy together after that happened. The
Yeah.
fact that she's talking about some dream, and then the next thing you know, there's the same type of beetle comes into the office. I don't think he killed it. I think he captured it,
Okay.
and and said something profound, and that resonated to keep an idea of. I mean, have you ever had a dream that came true?
Not. I don't know. Honestly, not that I saw that way. I don't think. But
Do you
no,
pay
I don't think
attention
so.
to your dreams?
Well, I haven't been able to. I haven't really had dreams or been able to remember dreams for like a long time. Um. So no, like I don't really. I have a dream journal. I kept a dream journal for a little while,
Oh
years and
wow.
years ago. So I have
Yeah.
that. But yeah, in terms of just dreaming in general, it was something I was very interested in, years and years ago, and then I just kind of stopped dreaming, and so now, yeah, I just kind of don't worry about it, or I don't think about it as much.
Have I got a book for us down the line
Mm-hmm.
about dreams and stuff?
Okay.
Dreams are really fascinating. And what
Yeah.
I love, James Hillman, who took over uh, from Jung after Jung died. Uh, he has a book, The Dream in the Underworld,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a complex book. It's complicated, and it's not always easy to understand what Hillman is trying to say ultimately about dreams.
Yeah.
But the thing that I got out of it, in the shortest, briefest way, is that instead of taking dreams and trying to think of what the meanings are, and analyzing this means this, or like the dream books. You incorporate the dream that you just had, and you just live with it as if it's part of your life. It's like instead of seeing your dream life, your dream world as separate from your real world, you
Mm-hmm.
just say, this is also part of my life.
Interesting.
In the same way, when you see shamans or some older movies or something, and people are talking about the dreams, and they're just kind of accepting it as real.
Mm-hmm.
What if we just accepted our dream life as real, like this is a part of our lives, and not in the same way that you don't analyze every aspect of your life. It's just like, and then this happened.
Yeah.
So, you know,
In,
Rachel is an incredible dreamer, and she's a
mine too.
science
Yeah.
and scientist,
Uh-huh.
psych nurse practitioner, holds and has held a lot of scientific realism. I'll call it,
Sure.
pragmatic, but and I don't like saying but. Sometimes I like saying and instead of but.
Mm.
It's different, So instead of saying
Kick him in the and.
Rachel,
Sorry.
what's that?
I said kick him in the and.
That's right. So instead of saying but instead of and, it's just
Mhm.
like Rachel dreamt, and she likes, when she has a dream, she'll wake up, and I have to listen patiently and quietly and not interrupt her,
Yeah.
and listen to her whole dream
Yep.
and not say anything about it.
Uh-huh.
And then after I read this book by Hillman, The Dream in the Underworld, I understood better how, not to look to see. I mean, certainly there are times when, I have a dream and I know where it's coming from because of something that happened the day before.
Right.
But instead of that, if I just incorporate that into my life, or better yet, if I sit down and say, how can I bring this dream element somehow into a story that I'm writing without thinking about it?
Do you remember if Bukowski talks about any dreams in the book? I've been
I
trying to
don't
think of that. I
remember
can't
him talk.
I feel like I draw a blank. He fantasizes about women, I think. And it
Oh
seems
yeah,
like he has of course he has a very rich internal life. He's a solo person. So yeah, like I feel like we hear a lot of fantasies, but I don't know if we hear dreams. I think it's
yes.
almost like he's given up. I mean, his character in the book has given up on really any dreaming, I think.
He doesn't. He totally doesn't like it. One of the uh, main, and especially, how dreams mean two things. Dreams are the things that we do when we're at night, and dreams are, what are your dreams and aspirations?
Yeah.
Uh-uh.
Yeah.
He is
Yeah.
not. He is totally not into dreams and aspirations. Do you know what's on his tombstone?
No, what is it?
It's what's it? Sorry. Uh uh don't try. That's right. Don't
uh,
try, on
okay.
his
All
tombstone.
right.
And he does not necessarily mean that in a narcissistic, negative, way. He's not. He The idea of what I gather from reading Bukowski in general about don't try is, like, here we are, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're
Sure.
we're 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 on our maybe fifth or sixth podcast.
It's like ninth. Yeah, this is the ninth one.
Oh, is it?
Time flies.
Oh my God, that's
Yeah.
amazing. That's fantastic. So that's really amazing to me.
Right?
And so I love that. And I love this. And I love that we're not, if you think about it, we're not trying to be anything more than being Bukowski like, and trying to tell a truth no matter how difficult it is, and sometimes it's clear that we have words twisted or ideas twisted,
Mm-hmm.
because we're just figuring it out, and we don't feel that we have to have an exactitude of meaning behind what we're saying. We're exploring it, and so I'm very proud of this podcast because we're not trying. Don't try. We're just letting it happen. We're letting it see where it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly, just like in Bukowski's life, he didn't get any fame or recognition till he quit working in the post office. He hadn't written for 10 years at that point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He just focused. But then, it was like he knew that what he really needed to do in life was write, and he didn't have to try to write. He knew he had to write.
Yeah. I really love that about Barfly. 'Cause that's the whole thing, right? He just drinks and writes, and then somehow somebody gets some of his stuff, and it all works out. But it's not like he's trying. He's trying to drink. He's trying to, live his life as he thinks that he should. And
Yeah,
that just includes him being a writer, because that's just who he considers himself to be. He writes like he breathes, I imagine.
yeah. I want to see what else
Yeah.
note wise I
But
have
I
here.
just wanted to circle back
Yeah.
to synchronicity, because we were talking synchronicity, and we were talking about the book that he missed. And so I actually picked another Bukowski book to read. And you actually didn't say the book that I chose to read. Do you think you can
Oh,
guess what it is?
wow. I said Hollywood, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah. It's
back to
kind of a
some
trick. It's kind of a trick
and
question.
post office. It's a novel of his.
It's not a
Is it a
novel.
novel?
It's not
Oh,
a
it's
novel.
not
It's
a
it's a
novel.
trick. It's a trick question.
It's a book of his letters.
Uh-huh.
It's a book of his letters.
Yep.
Wow, how is that?
I just started it earlier today. It's called
Wow,
Beer Spit, Night and Cursing.
wow. I don't have that one.
Yeah, he had
I've never
a
seen that one.
yeah, I just randomly I was looking at his, bibliography, and that one spoke to me for whatever reason. Just a cool title. But it's his letters that he wrote to let's see. What was I said her name. It was one of the authors he wrote, or he recommends. I think HD Hilda Doolittle, maybe. Is
I
that,
don't
or
know.
maybe
Is
no, no,
that
no, it's not her. Sorry. It's not her. It's Sherry Martinelli. That's her name. Sherry Martinelli. Have you heard of her?
is she one of the editors? Is she one of the people who helped him
No,
to get published?
she was actually a well-known um what's the word? Um what's like a woman who's like an inspiration to artists.
Wow,
It's like
an
they're
inspirational writer. Just
no, what, but
no.
there's it's no, she was the inspiration. Her personally, she was the inspiration to many different artists. She worked.
Wow, a
Had
mentor.
she had a mentor who was man. Now it's all flying out of my mind. But yeah, she was. I think she grew up in New York, or was from New York. Maybe went to school there. Went to school in a couple different places, but was an artist and got linked up with different artists. Like knew Anais Nin, hung out with her, and then a variety of different other artists. Let me pull up her Wikipedia page. Actually, what is that word? Why is it's a
Not a
muse?
mentor.
She was a muse
A muse.
for a couple different artists and authors. She married Ezio Martinelli, and that's where she got the last name Ezio Martinelli. She was a protege of Anais Nin. She was the basis for Esme, a major character in William Gaddis's novel The Recognitions. She was
Wow,
the
that book.
she was the longtime muse and mistress of Ezra Pound. That's
Wow,
who it
Ezra
was.
Pound.
Yeah, so she was a big Ezra Pound, and then she had like a 7-year letter written relationship, not relationship, but a 7-year correspondence with Charles Bukowski. She was
That's amazing.
Yeah, she was working. I think to get. She was working. I don't know. She got sent some of his work. I don't know what she was specifically doing. I think it was for work. Like somebody sent her, and so she wrote him a letter with suggestions for like how he could improve his life after reading, whatever he had sent her, and he was pissed off about it and wrote her back, and so then they started this correspondence, and then
And are
eventually.
both letters in this book? Are both letters?
Yes, yes.
Oh wow.
And it's kind of crazy because reading her letters, she talks the way she writes is so modern. It's like you're reading text messages. She uses like the
Wow.
letter U instead of the word you. She doesn't use like proper pronunciation or anything like that. But it's really crazy to read her writing. And I guess she was just an incredibly interesting person and an artist. So yeah, I'm looking forward to reading more
Oh man,
about
I
what
got
they
to
have
get
to
this
say.
book. I was
Yeah,
thinking that
yeah.
we should do a Bukowski book once a year or maybe twice a year.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm
I
down with that.
really thought once a year, but now these letters really got me curious.
Yeah, I mean, he's a character. I gotta say.
So, let me see what else that I have here.
Yeah.
Post office came first.
Mhm.
Factotum, Women, Ham on Rye, Hollywood, and Pulp. I've never read Pulp. I've heard some mixed things about Pulp, but
Okay. Do you know what it's about?
yeah, I think he's complaining about other writers in that book. That's all I know. But I mean, I might not even have that right. I
Yeah.
have to look into that.
Uh,
Uh,
um, I guess what I kind of wanted to talk a little
yeah,
about
please.
is like when I had mentioned earlier about him being not necessarily the most trustworthy narrator. Um, and I think there are a couple different instances. He talks about how he and in his school they're the poorest school, and he doesn't understand how their school is so poor, but they're all so big. And how, if you remember that, like he talks about, I think it's football, maybe they're playing, and they just demolish. You see, I think it's football or baseball, either one. And they just demolish all the other teams because they're so much bigger. So it's like, it doesn't really make sense that you guys are so much bigger than everybody else if you're also not getting any food. And he also talks about his meeting his nieces or not nieces, his cousins when they go visit his father's brother in the beginning of the book, and they're poor and they don't have any food, and they're digging peanut butter out of the jar. um and he's like, just so obviously he's writing it down, he's noticing it. So I'm like, I feel like when you say, you're poor, you're starving, that is not that it sounds like a child's conception of what's going on around you. Like, you feel like everything that's happening to you is the most important, that you're the biggest victim, but it's not necessarily the case. And so that was kind of the lens I was viewing this novel with. Like, what is he actually saying? What's actually going on if I view it from maybe, say, his parents' perspective or his teacher's perspective? Like the time he goes to his teacher and his teacher is talking to him, and he's looking at her and he's sexualizing her and he thinks that she's flirting with him, and he asks her if she wants to fuck, and
Yeah.
she's like, I appreciate that, but please never say that to me again. That's making me think that she's probably not flirting with him, and coming out, she probably genuinely cares about him or as her student, because he is having a hard time and everybody knows it, except and he knows it himself. But it's just very interesting to.
We'll have to read Women next, maybe.
Yeah.
That's maybe the one to read. But even in that situation, there's two things. One is that situation that you brought up, and they're digging out the peanut butter. Well,
Yeah.
before they leave, the mother gives them a box of cans of
Yes.
food.
Yes.
So that
Uh-huh.
does makes no sense whatsoever. You would come in, you'd see kids starving, you would give the box of canned food right away so they could eat.
Right.
But the other thing is, and you don't have to be well fed to be a mean motherfucker who plays football and wants to crush someone's head.
It wasn't that they crushed everybody's heads; it's that they were physically bigger. He
Oh, physically
specifically
bigger.
mentions that they were he's like, I don't understand. We're so poor. We don't have any food. Everybody's so poor, and yet we're bigger than everybody else, and that's why we steamroll them. And I'm just saying that doesn't make sense. Oh,
Well,
among other
in
things.
another book, he talks about how everyone is still slaves. We're all still
Yeah,
slaves.
yeah,
So maybe where maybe he's talking about how poor people somehow get to be bigger than other people, even though that they don't. Maybe they're maybe there is a quality of softness that he is against in all of his
yeah.
writings. There's something about like, being lean and mean. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, if you think about his career, I mean, he was fighting and fighting, and he wasn't eating shit. He was
Yeah,
drinking,
he's drinking
you
his
know.
calories.
Yeah. And did you know that he had a ulcer that almost killed him? A
I
bleeding ulcer that almost killed him?
I didn't know, but I'm not surprised. Oof,
Yeah, so
man.
I can identify. I can
Yeah.
identify with a bleeding ulcer. Uh,
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Hopefully, so is there like a cure for that? Can they do anything
for
for it?
for bleeding ulcers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's in my case, stress related, and
Mm-hmm.
there's pantoprazole, and there is medication, and uh, I would say uh, psychological therapy of dealing with the traumas that I've had in my life, and is something that he could probably have used after all the beat. When
Yeah.
you are living a life of constantly seeing your viewpoint from this negative, from this particular dark way of not liking people, and wanting to be isolated. I mean, it helped him immensely with what he wanted to do with his life,
Mm-hmm.
which was just to write.
Yeah.
But he was not getting any of the kind of help that someone with the kind of beatings, even if they were. Were you ever threatened with beatings or got beat?
Yeah, when I
Or if
was
you don't want to talk about it, you don't
no,
have.
no. I feel like yeah, the whole conversation, I think for me at least where I'm coming from, I think anything is game, honestly. I have nothing to hide.
Well, if there ever
But
is, I mean,
I'll
we
let you
don't we
know.
don't even know what we are hiding.
Yeah.
we I hope if anything ever comes up that you don't want to talk about, you don't have to. But
Okay.
my mother threatened me with a belt, but she didn't hit me with a belt. My grandfather threatened me with a belt, but didn't hit me with the belt.
Yeah.
But I think they understood I was getting smacked around by the rabbis enough, and living
uh
in the neighborhood,
man.
that I didn't need it.
Yeah.
And but I think I told you what my mother's ill effect of trauma on me was. I think I told you my dad was, uh, Johnny hit me in the eye, and I had a black eye, and he was like, go back, knock on his door, tell Mrs. Thompson that you need to speak to Johnny, and then punch him in the nose, because
Yeah.
that really hurts a lot more.
Uh-huh.
But my mother's idea was more traumatic. She knew that I was being ostracized by the other kids in the neighborhood and being bullied. And she said, next time, grab the biggest guy and drag him into the middle of the street in traffic
Mm-hmm.
and hold him there, so, as the cars are coming, and don't
Yeah.
let him go.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my mother's way of creating trauma for me. I mean, certainly never, no one ever like fucking with me in that neighborhood again, because they knew that I'm capable of dragging someone out into the middle of traffic.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's totally fucked up. And I tell you how that first was propositioned to me, that my mom loved telling the story of how when my father was driving his car into her, driving.
Uh,
Did I ever tell you that?
tell me again.
My
It's
dad, that my parents were a mess.
yeah.
They were just a mess, fighting, arguing, and he's driving his car to hit her. And what she calls is her genius was that she knew she picked me up and held me in front of her
Oh
as
man.
the headlights are coming towards her, and he swerved away. And she told that story throughout her life. Like, as a grown man, she would tell that story and then pull me in front of her.
Just like this.
Yeah, just like this. And she's 5 foot tall, and now I'm
Oh man.
hovering over her, and she's still, and and you could not resist. I was not allowed to not say, "Come on," I had to step in front of her and go like this, like my dad was coming
Yeah.
after us. But that's really sick.
Yeah, I mean it's do you feel a connection to the novel? Do you feel like I mean, I feel like you must.
Well, that's what I'm
Through that.
saying. But I've had 50 years of therapy, 50
Yeah.
fucking years of therapy, and this guy had alcohol.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean when I'm talking about like, thinking about things from other characters' perspectives, a big part of that is like thinking about his dad and his dad's family. And, because they are all his dad, I'm sure, and they all have PTSD from being in the military. He talks about his grandpa giving him the Iron Cross and
Yeah,
being part of a losing military. So it's like a whole, his whole family, it's not just him who is
right.
involved in this, and he's in the ROTC. He joins the ROTC, so he
Yeah,
even is on that path to being
right.
military potentially. So yeah, it's very interesting to maybe just having a little empathy for these characters that he doesn't. It just gave me, I think, a little bit more understanding of maybe what was going on, and that his dad was a real prick, but at the same time, his dad and our parents too went through a lot of shit. My dad, when I think I was the only kid. I'm the oldest of five, so my dad got hit as a kid, of course, and so I got spanked when I was very young, maybe like
Yeah,
5, 6 years old. I got spanked maybe 2 or 3 times, but then
yeah,
as I got older and my other siblings showed up, they decided to resort to other methods and evolve the parenting style, I guess. So I really appreciate that. But I definitely do remember getting spanked as a kid and not appreciating
yeah.
it.
Right, right, right.
Even to this day. I had a conversation with my dad the other day where I was like, yeah, I mean, I know I was a kid and I know from your perspective, and I guess that's kind of what I'm talking about here. But it's like, yeah, like it was traumatic. It may have seemed like a non-issue or not as much to you with the beatings you endured, but to me, I had as a kid, you don't have any perspective other than this
Correct.
bad thing is happening to me and there's no way I can get out of it. I'm trapped in pain and I don't know how to get through it. And I really love that part about the book where he details his evolution in thought, how he was eventually able to, escape the pain in a way and escape his father.
Yeah. But not really too, at the same time,
Yeah, we'll escape the
all
beatings.
this, the continuation of fighting everyone, and just,
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, there it is. Let me see my notes for a second. But and just also, I just got to tell this one story. Uh, the TV wasn't working. This is in the '60s, and when the TV doesn't work, you had to call a TV repairman.
Mm-hmm.
and the TV repairman that we had was a second cousin of my mom's, and he was a total asshole. And when he got here, it got to the Bronx, it was a matter of plugging in the TV. The TV was unplugged, and my mother punished me and spanked me for that. But I'm like, why? Why would I do that? I miss
Yeah.
I miss Batman. There's no way I would prank. What? There's no advantage to me not having a television in the horrible world that I was growing up in.
Right.
TV was a complete answer. The humor, families are together, people are, I could fantasize about all the different ways that other families were.
Mm-hmm.
There was no way that I would ever want not to be TV as a kid.
Right.
And she couldn't get it. She somehow, blamed me. She was embarrassed. My mom had a lot of shame and embarrassment, which I then, of course, then I have, of
Mm-hmm.
course, as well.
Man,
Um,
I have a I just I want to tell you this story
yeah,
real quick because it's so
please.
we have very similar. I think well we have similar things, synchronicities, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
When I was a very young kid, my parents loved to tell this story about because I love TV too. I would get up in the middle of the night and turn on the TV and try to watch TV, and so they had a whatever the plug a power strip, so they put a
Yeah.
power strip behind the console or the TV console, so I couldn't reach it. And so I knew it was back there, so I got up in the middle of the night one night, and the old school CRTs or whatever, just big, and
Yeah.
I ended up pulling it out of the console on top of myself, and the
Oh
cord
no.
stopped it. The cord
Oh shit.
stopped it. So my parents heard it and came out, and they said they saw me laying on the ground staring up at the TV with the TV like this in front of my face. and and my dad said that he didn't spank me that time because they were so relieved I was still alive.
Yeah. Oh my God,
But yeah, it's just
that's
one
amazing.
TV. Yeah, kids and television, something about
You
it.
know, I don't know how old you are, and I just am asking you now, just in terms to find out, in terms of TV viewing.
Uh
How old are you, if you don't
Guess.
mind me? I don't know.
Just one,
Rachel
just
asked me.
one.
You
Huh?
you 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 look like a kid. You got a little streak of silver there.
Yeah, I've had gray hair since I was in my probably teens.
Wow.
Yeah, it's genetic.
Did you see that as was that advantageous in some ways?
I don't think
The
so.
level of maturity?
I
I don't
don't
know.
think so, because I think I have maybe like a younger face. So I think people.
You totally have a younger face. If I didn't know you, because I know you, and and so you've got 35,
38.
38. Okay.
Yeah.
But if I didn't know you, I would have said younger.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Black don't crack, I believe they say.
Yeah.
But yeah. So well, thank you. I appreciate that. And
Yeah.
I feel like I'm finally getting to the age where it's starting to become advantageous. Because being younger, you want to go to bars, you want to do
Right.
whatever, and it can be an issue sometimes. And it's so funny because I think that really ties into the book. It's like the child's desire to grow up as fast as we can, and I see that in this book with him in terms of the desire to have freedom to to do nothing. Like he wants to escape, he wants the ability to just do what he wants whenever he wants, whatever that may be, as self-destructive as it wants. I feel like his ultimate desire is freedom.
Maturity and sexuality is a big part in the book as well.
Yeah.
They pretend to have sex, or they're just that is something, and I'm going to do a little more thinking about this Stand By Me thing. I'm not
Okay.
finished with that. I feel like I got something else, but I don't have anything now on that. Let me see if there's,
Well, I have some
yeah,
I have two things.
yes.
Uh so the first one is a little dark. And I will say that I have some theories on the book. And so do you want like a dark theory or do you want like perhaps a lighter theory?
No, let's go dark.
Let's go dark. Okay.
Yeah.
So my theory is that um that Henry Chinaski was most likely molested, and I think by most likely by his dad, if I had to
Mm.
guess. The reason I think that is there's like in the beginning. I want to see if I can find the quote. He talks about the air being white. If you know that, if that um, rings any bells for you. He has a whole like complex around the bathroom, but like he talks in like pain. So he talks about the world like he describes like colors of um of the air. You know, I think describes the air as like green and blue with smoke later in the movie or
Yeah.
later in the book. But early in the book, he says the air is white. He talks about how he's scared of going to the bathroom, and he refuses to go at school as a child. Later in the book, he talks about being in the bathroom with his dad and him hating seeing his dad lathering his chin. And so that was making me think all these issues with the bathroom. If I had to think of the air turning white and it's not smoke, then that would be steam. It would be steam in the bathroom, you know? So yeah, it was just one of those things where I'm like looking at it and just like the way he talks about sex, where he wants to have sex so much and yet when it's presented to him, he refuses it. You know, with the his classmate's mother, for example, or his professor later who asks him not to join the army and to come back to school or not to drop out of school and come back to
Right.
school. He's so obsessed with sex but yet so scared or just also disinterested in sharing it with another person. He also gets come-ons from the homosexuals in the gay bar he goes to who buy him whiskey sours or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, that was just one of those things where I'm like, we're talking about what is actually going on. If he's just a kid in this and these are his memories, what are the adults doing? What is really going on in the world that we're not seeing or that he's hinting at but not saying?
That's possible. And the only thing that I would say to that is that he didn't know, because if he suspected that, he would write it.
You think
He's
so?
not trying, yeah, because he's not hiding this guy. What does this guy say? He says, find what you have and let it kill you.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's don't try, meaning you don't have to try to be a writer. You got to be a writer. And one of the main things about writing for him was telling the truth. The truth was everything, no matter how.
But he lies in the book.
Yes, he does lie in the book. He
So
exaggerates.
so to me, and this is like something that I just kept from high school or grade school, high school English, I think. I always remembered it. But my teacher was like, you have to figure out if the narrator is reliable because
Yeah.
that will let you know like, what it will make you look for what's actually happening. And I think in this book the way he describes things that he is not a reliable narrator and that we can't necessarily trust that everything he's saying is true or is the full story because that's what he doesn't tell the full story for most everything that happens in the book. He tells his
Well, and
perspective of it.
right, and that is also John Fonte. He has a character Arturo Bandini,
Yeah.
and Arturo Bandini exaggerates, and it's quest, for being the tough, and so it might be very much the truth
Have
that
you?
he was the opposite in many ways, and then once he became famous, he had to kind of prove that he was that tough guy. So
Yeah.
he kind of became maybe more of that tough guy that he has always been writing about. Which I've got a great question for us,
Sure.
and I don't have an answer for me, but if I were to create a character, a kind of alternate character to myself and have it in a book,
Uh huh.
what would my character be like if I were to project onto my character, and I think I would be tougher. I know, I probably know how to kill someone if I had to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stuff like that. Do you have any fantasies of, or have you ever thought, in terms of what is your what is your Antonio Bandini? And I'll just tell you this:
Uh
that
huh.
in real life, every now and then Bukowski would say Arturo Bandini. He really did see Fonte as his god to worship and
Yeah.
to promote and to exaggerate.
Yeah. I need to. Yeah. I need to read this book.
Yeah.
I think for me, my thing is confidence. I think if there were a version of me in a book, they would be me, but just more confident.
Yeah.
And then I guess everything would flow from that. All opportunity and relationship and things of that. Because it's all about just putting yourself out there. I think at the end of the day, and just opening yourself up to opportunity, right?
I like the idea of being like a yeah, and I like the idea of being, like a Sherlock Holmes, that I would be able to figure out stuff that I haven't been able to figure out in my real life.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
just be that kind of detective, but maybe about people's behavior. Like,
Yeah.
why did they behave like that? And then in the story, I get to find out and be the one to go, aha.
Aha! Your aha moment. I mean, yeah, yeah. That I think I search for that too. I search for the aha moments. That's the big part of why I'm doing this. I'm searching for the ahas. Um,
I think we found a few aha moments, and I think there have been a few ha 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 moments.
so I have one more thing.
Yeah.
Speaking of aha moments, wait, hold on. Where is it? Where'd it go? Did I not save it? Oh, I must not have saved it. Hold on, let me see where it is. Where are you? Sorry, audience at home. I thought that I did something. No, I must not have saved it. Okay. Anyways,
Oh
I
no.
take it back. Okay, imagine that there was a conspiracy theory sound that just sounded there.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh my God, I can't wait to hear what that is. Got to
I
find
should
it
have
next
just I
week.
just looked I should have just looked it up on YouTube. I probably have it on my hard drive somewhere. But
Okay,
anyways,
that's good.
I'll add it in post.
Yeah.
But going all the way back to the beginning of the book, where he
Yeah.
meets his grandfather,
Yeah.
he says he's the most beautiful man he's ever met. He says that about a couple different. He also says that about his uncle, or not. That he was a beautiful man or he was a pretty man when they go visit him in the hospital.
Yeah.
I digress. One of the first things that happens in the book is his grandfather gives him two things. Do you remember what those things are?
Gives him two things.
Right.
I
They're in
remember that
Germany, I think.
it wasn't the iron. It was the Iron Cross. Didn't he give him the Iron Cross?
He did.
Was one of the things?
Uh huh.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's the thing that matters.
Oh, okay. I can't remember what the other thing was. Coins.
Gold watch.
A gold watch.
Gold watch. Yeah.
Gold
And
watch.
I don't know if it comes back up. He taught. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if either of those things come back up. But I saw this article where it talks about how Bukowski was getting interviewed by, I think, a German actor or a German reporter or something like that. And Bukowski kept the medal and hung it from his rearview mirror. And
Wow.
so this guy was asking him about it and was sort of implying that it was Nazi memorabilia. So Bukowski asked the guy for his hand, like shaking his hand. And so Bukowski takes his hand and spits in it, closes it, and walks out because the guy intimated that his grandpa was a Nazi, basically. But yeah, so he still had the medal.
Well,
But
in the book, he goes to a Nazi meeting.
yeah, he is a Nazi. He's like,
Yeah, I mean,
he
he's
calls
not
himself a Nazi.
really a Nazi, but he doesn't mind being called a Nazi. It's
Yeah.
almost he's such a contrarian. He just wants to almost see what'll happen. Oh yeah, you got some shit for me about that? You know, he's got this. He just has that about everything. He
Yeah.
just wants to challenge everything,
But
and and it almost feels like, like the incel,
yeah.
like Johnny Kennedy Toole's character Ignatius. They almost seem that there are people who just they don't fucking care about what you think, as long as they could get you going about something.
Yeah.
They're just trying to stick you enough to irritate you. And I think that is, that's a lot of what our internet,
Yes.
some
Yeah.
portion of our internet, is people who are not really caring what they're saying, as long as they can get you going.
Right. No, I completely agree. Yeah,
So
but I think for him, like that may be part of like how he's trying to portray it, but he's also German.
yeah,
he writes this whole story about how, he writes like a series of stories about the pilot, the German ace during World War I, and
right,
then also the experience with his grandpa, where it seems
yeah.
like he had a pretty positive experience with his grandpa also, he gets continually shit on for being German, and they give him like racist nicknames for him being German.
Right. And I think, doesn't he talk, I think it's in this book, if I'm not mistaken, about who the winner is determines what the political outcome is of what is being said. Is
Yeah,
that in
yeah,
this, or it is
yes,
in this book?
yes, yeah. It is. He
So
does.
the
Yeah.
winner gets to tell the history.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah,
winner
that's
gets to
exactly
tell the
right.
history. Uh
So, um,
yes.
continuing, so he gets the Iron Cross from his grandfather. So we see that the Iron Cross has a very deep history for Germany that preceded the Nazis. The Nazis took it over and slapped a swastika on it, and the rest is history. But before that, it was actually the symbol for the Teutonic Knights, if you know who they
Right,
were.
right, right.
And so the Teutonic
Tell,
Knights
yeah, tell me.
were
Tell me about.
an independent military in Prussia. So Prussia, and Prussia was like basically Germany was a state in Germany, but like basically was like controlling Germany at the time. So like this is all part of like the 1,000 Year Conspiracy book that I was reading.
Uh-huh.
So not to get into too many details or anything like that. So we have like the Teutonic Knights, who are an independent military, but who is also an independent force, or an independent version of a government force. Thurnan
Oh, you're
Tassis.
asking me,
Yeah,
huh?
yeah, yeah. I'm asking you, but I mean, Thurnan Taxis.
Now we're back then, or
Yeah,
throughout history.
yeah. It's
The
all
Knights of Templar, the Templar Knights,
the Teutonic Knights.
the Teutonic
The
Knight. Oh,
Teutonic Knights. Yes. So
So
so there's a direct line from these like independent militaries, these independent um like almost that's what evolved into like these occult, these occult groups, or not occult, should I say occult groups? Yeah, secretive groups.
yeah,
The whole country,
secret societies.
secret societies, exactly, secret military forces,
Yeah,
secret hidden, post offices. That is a direct there's a direct connection between that to, the Nazis. But regardless of the Nazis, we're not talking about the Nazis. Something that struck me is that looking back at Crying of Lot 49, there's this scene, and I think it may be in the play that they do, but they talk about how there's an attack by these, dark, black, either, these agents, and the only thing that is left is a what looks like a T in the snow, right?
yes.
So you have the Thurn and Tassus, you have, or Taxus, you have the T in the snow. But do you know what else what else a T could be?
Teutonic Knights.
It could be the Teutonic Knights, and it could be a cross, aka an Iron Cross. So
Fantastic.
I just thought it
Oh,
was
that's fantastic. Oh my
right?
God, that is so fantastic. When you were starting to talk, I started to think. It's so funny because I started to think of Crying of Lot 49,
Yeah.
and the secret society of a post office and the secret society of an army, and messages being transferred to people that nobody else is supposed to know about. So
Mm-hmm.
very, that's a great, you know, we don't, it's like you know what? This is exactly what comes down to what Hillman was talking about, the dreams.
Yeah.
We don't have to know what this meaning is right now.
Mm-hmm.
We just have to remember it and kind of like reference it whenever. We don't ever have to really fully ever understand it, but it should become like a living memories dream.
Yeah. I was gonna say when we were talking about dreamings that yeah, I did keep a dream journal, and what I got from that was, it seems like at least my dreams were almost reimaginings, or just like combinations, or a different combination of things that had happened, and I was just going back through them, like almost like, yeah, just processing them, just processing things that had happened to me, and but they're just melded about in like some sort of like a way that makes sense, I guess, just a bunch of disparate things melded together into like one storyline that still kind of doesn't make sense, but it's just like almost reliving, yeah, just reliving stuff that I've been through, not even recently, but all combined with just things that happened to me in my life, I guess.
All right, write this book down. James Hillman,
Okay. James Hillman.
Dreams and the Underworld.
Okay. Dreams and the Underworld. All right. I'll see if I can find a
It-
copy.
yeah, it's a little tough.
Okay.
I actually, before Shakespeare and Company went out of business, I had them print up a copy of the book for me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
that's nice of
So
them.
it's a printable book.
Okay.
One
Yeah.
of
Well,
those.
I can throw it on my iPad.
Yeah.
But
All
yeah,
right. I think are we done?
I think so. I think that's,
Yeah.
yeah, that's the vast majority of what I wanted to talk about. But I mean, it's just he's a phenomenal writer. I just want to make sure
Yeah.
that I put, of course, Bukowski. What was crazy is I was looking for Bukowski in the library, and they didn't really have a ton of him, so that was a real shame. But
Yeah.
yeah, he's just one of those guys where, like, his voice. He has a voice. He has a very specific voice. He has a very amusing voice, and yeah, I look forward to our next
Yeah.
foray.
And yeah. And John Fonte. What is her next book? Wait. Did you ever get? Did they ever send you the Cosmos book?
No.
Lost in the cosmos. Literally got lost in the cosmos.
Lost in the Cosmos. And to be
Can you
honest,
try to order it again?
yeah, I need to go to the library because it's not even showing up in the system. So like I sent you the screenshot where I
Yeah.
searched it. Now if I search it, so I'm thinking what probably happened is they looked for it and it wasn't there. So
Right.
I haven't been back to the library. I need to
God
go
damn
and
it!
ask that.
I was putting together a box of books for you, but I haven't had time to look through the paperbacks, and I think I have 2 copies of it. So I don't know. When are you going camping?
I have no idea.
Oh, I thought it was like next week or something. No,
No,
you
no,
don't
no.
know.
It was supposed to be, but 2 people pulled out.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, we're potentially gonna do like glamping and go over the winter and like get a log cabin or something. So that's what I
Oh,
was
nice.
saying. If you want to come, depending on how you're feeling, you're of course
Yeah.
more than welcome to.
Oh, thank you.
It won't be as hardcore.
Yeah, and that's something that hardcore thing. It's a final thought that I have. The concept of even camping is something. He Bukowski is always. He doesn't like people who are soft.
Yeah.
He likes things to be hard, and he likes the idea of suffering, and he loves the idea of failure.
Yes.
Failure is really up there on his list because he almost feels, the concept of the more you fail, the more you're then going to understand about yourself, and that you'll be able to overcome these failures. So he's all about that. I want to see if I had anything else.
I think that's everything
Yeah,
on
nobody
my end.
knows what will make you happy in the future. So
Yeah.
that's why he's like, find the thing, don't try, but when you find the thing that you really want to do, really do it.
Mm-hmm.
Really do it.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Yeah.
matter if it kills you. Doesn't matter if it kills you. Just keep doing what you love. That's why people climb mountains in the Himalayas and 10% die.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. I didn't know that statistic. That seems
I
kind of
might have made
high.
it up.
I mean, they say they just leave the bodies, right? They just leave them up there.
All right, fantastic.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Once again, we will be returning next week. You asked about the book. It's Russian. It's right. It's is it a
Dostoevsky. Oh
Dostoevsky?
yeah. Oh, that's a great book. It's a
Yeah.
perfect. It's a perfect follow up book to Bukowski. It's Underground.
Yeah. I started when you sent it to me. I started it, and then and then I was reading it when you were in the hospital, and I was
Yeah.
like, "You're reading this in the hospital?" Like just the first lines of the book. It's like, I'm sick, I'm miserable, I think I'm gonna die. But yeah, okay, yeah, that sounds good. So next week
Yeah.
we'll be hitting the Russians. So
Yeah.
yeah, thank you everybody for being here. Follow and
Awesome.
subscribe.